Howdy folks, from the Historic Arkansas Museum, I'm Casey Marshall, and today we're prepping for what is supposed to be a chance of snow, rain, really cold temperatures. And what makes you feel happier on a cold day than a nice cup of coffee, cider, other things. So right now I'm working on a toddy rod. What I'm really working on right now is the handle. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a quick curl while it's hot. See that curl coming in? Now, if you pay really close attention to our Tuesday Facebook Live, I made one of these back during the pandemic on a Facebook Live, but I learned something when I did it, and that was the transfer of heat. Okay? So I started off with just something, a fat stick, and I went straight down to here. However, learned my lesson. Fat end is hot, that heat's going to transfer all the way back up to the part you're going to touch your hand, and nobody wants to touch a flaming hot red piece of metal with their bare hand. So I'm going to try and perfect the design a little bit and do a little bit better this time. Okay? So what I've done is added in an extra piece of fluff, or fatter, stay right there, fatter piece of metal. So I'll still have, here I'll finish this one part first, and then we'll talk about how I changed my design this time. Hook this around here real quick. Go. And then I want to straighten that out. Right. Reflatten. All right. Exactly what I needed. All right. Preheat my water a little bit. Now, what I did is, for a toddy rod, it's kind of like having a microwave at your house where you're trying to heat up a drink. But think about the 1830s, 1840s. They didn't have microwaves. So you have a fat end of a stick or a metal rod, and you heat up that part, and just like I did with the quench of this piece, you stir your drink and cool off that hot metal inside. So I have the part I'm going to heat up, a gap, another part to kind of catch some of that heat, so that heat does not get back to here where my hand is going to be holding. It's kind of a break in between. So let me do one quick straightening on that. Much better. And I'm going to stick that in the fire, so that way that can start heating up. Maybe I can have some hot chocolate by the end of this video. But heat up the part I want to get hot, not the part I don't. Now, how does this relate? Again, we don't have a microwave at the time, so this is a way of heating up your drink. A couple of weeks ago, for our second Friday art night, one of our interpreters, he made a Smoking Bishop was the name of the adult beverage. It was a Smoking Bishop. It was a very traditional hot beverage, and we served it on a second Friday art night. Highly recommend you come out for one of those. And it was so popular, I have none left over. I was kind of hoping we had a little bit left over to heat up for this video, but all we have is regular water, and I have the famous Swish Mish hot chocolate mix. But let's look at our show and tell while that's getting hot. So we have a small blade that I've been working on for a little while now. I'll hopefully finish it this weekend, maybe even this week. Coca-Cola. And then we have several. We have a copy of the James Black Ducro knife. If you come by and see our knife gallery when it's open, hopefully later this spring, this Ducro will be, the actual Ducro will be out on display. And this one is a copy from J.M. Stevens. It's a custom order. Then we have a couple others. Did you say this was oak burl? Oak burl handle. That's going to be gorgeous when it's all finished up and attached up. That nice grain structure. Very simple, useful blade. Then we have a competition cutter. It's important to learn from our failures. Just like I made a toddy rod back in the pandemic, and it's not very pretty and it didn't work very well. I made a better one. Well, in a very intense testing process of cutting a 2x4, we made a serrated edge knife. Now, this could still be repaired. All he's going to have to do is take it off, take off the handle, reheat, get his grain structure. You put this under a microscope, didn't you? And he said under a microscope that grain structure is perfect. It was just a matter of how hard he was doing it and how many boards he was cutting that we got this gap, but fixable. Just going to have to take it apart and kind of start over, but not really. Got a whole lot to work with here. And then we have a very, very sharp blade in process as well. Let's see, maybe that's not supposed to come off. It's going to. But he is working on fitting that guard so perfect I wasn't even sure if it was going to come off or not. Come around, knuckle guard, and then a little bit of scaling here that'll more than likely come off during the middle of a grind. This is a good link for, is this going to be a competition cutter? Sweet.
Hope to use it Friday night.
Friday night, hoping to use it. All right. So we've got a lot of things going. Hopefully you guys are staying warm. Let's see how hot my toddy rod has gotten. Now remember, my goal was to have that gap, so that way I don't have to use tongs to get it out. And I don't. That's perfectly fine. So that gap there for some heat isn't hurting me, so I'm going to heat my water up. There we go. It's steaming. Try one more heat. And this time I'm going to help it a little bit. Now, maybe or maybe you're not should do this. If you know, give me the answer. But I'm going to go ahead and put it in my Swiss Miss packet. That way when I heat it up and stir this time, I'm actually stirring in the chocolate. Steaming mug there. Swiss Miss is not historically accurate. You notice this is out of the fire. That's the part I'm going to be holding, and it has a little bit of a gap there, but not enough to really hurt me. I'm pumping and giving us some extra heat. That way I can hopefully finish this on camera. Hear it sizzling. Oh yeah. So as we get ready for the impending snow, ice, whatever's coming our way, hopefully you guys have a nice warm place to be. Museum, watch our Facebook page if we're closed or anything like that, but I'm trying to let it get as hot as possible because I don't want cold hot chocolate. Upcoming future events, of course we have Second Friday, and every Saturday we have interpreters out here doing historical programming. So, from the Historic Arkansas Museum, I'm Casey Marshall. Thanks for coming to see us.